Right now, Shai Gilgeous Alexander has emerged as the next superstar because he moves like an alien. Every superstar has its own unique prototype. Giannis with his power, Steph Curry with his shooting, Nikola Jokic with his passing. These are all things that are easier for the human eye to really grasp. But when you look at Shai, it's hard at first glance to really understand what makes him unstoppable. Some people may point to his excellent mid-range shooting, others will definitely point to the favorable whistle that he gets, but in my opinion, it's the way he moves that is so unique compared to anyone that has played this game. In fact, it's so unstoppable that teams are starting to give him the Steph Curry treatment. Before we get to that, the most important part of his game is his balance. Most basketball players that try some of his moves would probably tear their ACL, but for him, the balance and flexibility makes up for his speed, especially with his ability to get low to the ground to get around his defenders. Even when there's two guys surrounding him, Shai half spins to get rid of the first, and then gets down to the center's knees to find an angle around and somehow gets to the other side. When Shai gets that low to the ground, it's a lot harder for defenders to really square him up, but in real time, it's really hard to see that. After his behind the back, Garland's still in pretty decent position, and that's when Shai gets so low to navigate around and uses his hand to regain his footing just to flip it over a 7-footer in the paint. Using the ground as his balancing point opens up sharp angles that most guys can't access. There's 3 guys, including the much bigger Nas Reed, surrounding him, but after he bumps them, he ducks himself to access that lane and gets under his arms to now create an open layup. This ability to stay balanced on these angles allows him to disguise what he's going to do. Hardaway does a pretty good job staying with him, but as he drives left, he breaks by getting his legs into a split. That buckles Hardaway's ankles, and Shai pulls his jumper like nothing just happened. On the very next possession, Shai drives hard to the right and buckles Hardaway again with the stop before going through that contact with a really tough finish. These starts and stops are the fundamental aspects of his attack. The ability to get parallel and low to the ground helps him decelerate and then make that next move. He can feel when defenders are moving too much one way, so he quickly stops and then goes the other way. This especially works for him because he can really break at any point. Most guys would fall in this position, but that sets Shai up for a step back 3. This allows him to play offense without a real plan. As some former players have said in the past, most basketball players like to play in rhythms. What that means is they get into a specific triple package to set up their signature shot. And while it typically works, defenders can pick up on those tendencies and then disrupt that comfort zone. But with Shai, he can wait till the very last split second to change his mind and then pivot. Most defenders try to predict when he might shoot the ball, and that's where he'll really get you. This just looks like a normal step back jumper, but if we rewind this back, Shai first goes to a normal step back 3, except he fakes picking up his dribble. That freezes Vanderbilt, and now he creates that separation for the step back. He did this in the very last minute of the Celtics game too. After beating Derek White, he fakes picking up that dribble, which freezes Drew Holiday, and now he suddenly has a wide open jumper. Most people fall for this because that's how he sets up his hesitation as well. He'll literally just throw his offhand up to see how the defender reacts and then figure out if he wants to shoot the ball. If they give him the space, he'll just take this shot, which he's shooting at league average this year, but the fact that he shoots it is enough for defenders to really crash on him. The point is, Shai does not care how he scores. He might start with a simple move, but that's just for him to read what the defender is doing. If their momentum's leaning one way, he knows he can go the other way. If they keep up with his first step, the step back is now open, and that's why anything inside the 3-point line is accessible because he never has to get to a specific spot. This processing speed is what we admire in guys like Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Those guys are primarily playing chess to get their teammates open shots, but Shai does that to create better scoring opportunities for himself. So Shai runs the pick and roll, and Ant comes over to pick him up. Gobert and McDaniels are all around him, but Shai hits them with a quick step, and no one can time that shot. Teams have a hard time doubling or putting extra help on Shai because he's so good at disrupting the defense's timing. Defenses will try and put 2 guys on him, but he's already on his next move as teams are pursuing him. All of these principles also translate to his incredible rim finishing. Most guys look at his lanky build and think that he won't handle physical contact, but he has filled out over the past few years, and to me, it's clear that the balance and core strength help offset any strength disadvantage. When he senses a defender coming, he will show the ball early, which gets the defender to jump and still puts that in as he's coming down. He can finish at all sorts of angles and with both the left and right hand on either side. But most importantly, most defenders that are contesting are usually trying to chase him. That allows Shai to just bump them, and now they're flying right out of the play. All of this put together is why his game translates pretty well in the postseason. He's so elusive and unpredictable that there's not really an answer for his game. Even with extra preparation, it's his approach of waiting for the defense to react, which makes it incredibly difficult to anticipate what he'll do. Keep in mind that we even saw how he performed last year, especially against the Mavericks, where he averaged 32 points on 51% shooting. In that series, Dallas had packed the paint to basically force him to take outside shots, but that's when he just goes to the mid-range, where he's shooting 54% this season. So as a result, if someone can get by you and isn't bothered by physicality, length, or double teams, what is the next solution? Well, you have to make sure he can't get the ball. As we discussed in our previous video, the Rockets spent an entire game just face guarding Steph. The reason is, Steph is at his best when he's off the ball because he can create separation and open shots. So the Rockets made sure that he never touched the ball. That meant the Warriors had to play more 4-on-4, and the Rockets ended up winning that game. Unlike Steph, it's very rare to see Shai move off the ball with the intent of creating open space. Most of his game is based on him taking the ball up top and finding a shot for himself. But teams have started to face guard him as well, not because they think he can move without the ball, but because he is a nightmare to guard once he has the ball. It also helps that the rest of the Thunder's roster isn't as consistent offensively. Jalen Williams only had some trouble last year in the playoffs, and Chet Holmgren probably needs another year to take that leap. But still, for the most part, Shai's been happy just letting his teammates go 4-on-4. There's more space that defenses have to cover, and OKC has enough ball handlers to take advantage of this. The biggest question is, can the Thunder do this for an entire game, especially if that's what defenses are going to test to the limit? We've seen them sputter before, like against Minnesota, who just completely doubled Shai outright and forced him to give it up. The Thunder couldn't capitalize on most of these situations and actually blew a 15-point lead with just 4 minutes to go. So if there's one weakness on this roster going into the playoffs, it's definitely finding that secondary scorer. But that point aside, there is a reason, even multiple, that explain why Shai is averaging an effortless 32 points this season, and to me, it is obvious that we have a superstar on our hands, one that the Thunder should be extremely grateful that it only took a podcaster to get. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can support me on these platforms. Appreciate everyone's support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.